Herbert, and potentially a couple other quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence, and which one you like more in a dynasty fantasy football perspective, and maybe redraft as well. Maybe there's a difference between the three of them for you in terms of redraft versus dynasty. So we can definitely talk about that. But I wanted to kick off by saying there isn't much of a difference in dynasty or redraft, in my opinion, in a lot of the quarterback rankings from the top to bottom, essentially. Are there a couple older quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. But those guys aren't in my top 5 or 6, really top 7, top 8 anyway. So when it comes down to it, redraft is dynasty, dynasty is redraft. Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. It's all the same. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Vampy? What's up, Klondike? What's up, Thomas? What's up, Sick Nasty? Navage in the building. So I would love to know your guys' rank of the 3 quarterbacks in the title: Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert. Are they different in dynasty than they are redraft? If you have a different ranking, then drop that in the chat as well. Put like redraft, the 3 of them in order. Put little open open arrows at them. Whatever you want to do to rank them, to identify them, and drop redraft in dynasty. I personally have Trevor Lawrence in redraft at number 6 overall, behind the big 4, the big 5. Justin Fields being in the big 5. So put Fields at 5 and put the other big 4 quarterbacks: Burrow, Mahomes, Hurts, and Josh Allen. Those guys are my top 5. Fields and those guys not changing. Dynasty redraft doesn't matter. Superflex doesn't matter. Half a point per timeout doesn't matter. Those guys are my top 5 quarterbacks, Fields being the bottom 1. In dynasty, redraft dynasty doesn't matter. Superflex doesn't matter. Half a point per injury doesn't matter. Is T-Law number 6 overall dynasty redraft? Herbert, here's where there might be a little bit of a difference. For the most part, my QB rankings from 1 to 8 are the same in redraft and dynasty for the most part. But here's where there could be a slight difference. Lamar, for me, this year ahead of Herbert until Herbert proves himself. Herbert over Lamar long-term because Herbert's younger. That might be the only difference in my top 8 is essentially the Herbert-Lamar swappage. That might really be the only swap. Is anybody else? Is there another quarterback someone wants to throw out that they would put in the mix for the top 8? I'd love to hear it. Navage says redraft T-Law, Lamar, Herbert, dynasty T-Law, Herbert, Lamar. That's my exact take, Navage. The injury really derailed him last year, for sure, says Sick Nasty. Appreciate you. Herbert is probably the most difficult QB to rank, and I agree with that, Vampy. We're being spoiled tonight. Yes, Sick Nasty, appreciate you. I wanted to do a couple shows. I wanted to do one. This is the late night Dynasty graveyard show. Okay, so I want you guys all to make sure you're subscribed to this Dynasty channel you're watching right now, because this is not the main channel. And some of you might be suggested this video. You think, oh God, Smitty's live again. I'm live on the Dynasty channel. Make sure you subscribe. And if you're new, subscribe. Navage, appreciate you dropping your rankings. Did Vamp drop his rankings? Vamp, drop your rankings if you can, like Navage did with the old double line redraft dynasty. Yeah, mine's the same as Navage. And there are some quarterbacks that you can make arguments for. You know, you could argue Anthony Richardson. You could argue a bunch of quarterbacks that could get into the dynasty mix. And really, this is a dynasty conversation. This is the Dynasty channel. But I'm open-minded to having redraft conversations while we're talking about it. Brian MC in the building, everybody. Lamar, T-Law, Herbert, T-Law, Lamar. I could get behind that. I like the honesty, too, about your redraft angle here. The fact that you got T-Law ahead of Herbert, Brian. That's some very objective, unbiased, looking at this. I appreciate that. What's Herbert's floor in terms of the rankings? I feel like Kellen Moore can take him to top 5, or can he drop? He could also drop to top 12. Yeah, he really is the hardest quarterback to rank. Why? He was going ahead of like Mahomes and Josh Allen last year, or Josh Allen and Herbert were like 1 and 2 in almost everywhere. Herbert was in the top 3 almost everywhere. Herbert was in the top 3. And we have to really inward look at this and say, did we see it coming? I'll be honest, I didn't feel like you could see the unraveling coming. Herbert felt like he was only going to get better. It was one of the more odd situations, I think, in fantasy football 2022, or really ever for quarterbacks. If we honestly look back and do a inventory, a self inventory on our rankings, our thoughts, our vibe, we all loved Justin Herbert walking into the last season. Nobody could see what happened in the injuries, then the injuries to the wide receiver room, but the injuries to Herbert first and foremost. The offense kind of unraveling. Eckler still doing amazingly despite all that, but Herbert, there was no sign that Herbert was going to drop off the way he did. There just wasn't. There wasn't. He looked like good as gold. And so I don't blame Brian or anybody in here that has Herbert ranked number 8 walking into 2023 redraft, but it's more optimistic for the long term because we've seen his talent. His arm's amazing. He can like throw, unbelievable deep ball. The touch. This guy's got an unbelievable arm. Unbelievable. So I don't think that there's any long term concern, but I think it's very objective and honest to say, hey, he shouldn't be in anybody's top 4 or 5 for redraft this year. Can he get there? Sure. Like Vamp said, he could be elevated back to top 5 under Kellen Moore and an offense that's probably going to throw the football, pretty well and redesign this thing and kind of restructure some things, recalibrate some things. Herbert has top 5, top 4 running back potential. Quarterback potential. He really does. But it is something that you have to play it safe and you've got to rank him. I mean, you don't have to. You should rank him in redraft in the 7-8 territory and no higher. And Dynasty, someone said he's my number 4. I can't get mad at him. I can't get mad at he's not my number 4. He can't breach my top 5. He can't. He can. It's impossible. It will be impossible for Herbert to breach my top 5 Dynasty QBs until he proves himself again. It doesn't mean he can't get there after the season, but it'll be impossible to do it prior to him going out there and playing a 2023 season lights out. Then he can maybe climb and climb ahead of Fields and maybe be quarterback number 5. I don't think he climbs ahead of Burrow. I don't think he climbs ahead of Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Jalen Hurts, but he could certainly potentially climb over Fields, if he does get back on track. Peanut Butter and Waivers, hit that like button and subscribe if you guys aren't already subscribed to this new Dynasty channel. Dynasty, I got Bijan, Brees. This is Mark. Ramondre, Najee, Javonte. Which 2 would you trade for Jamar? What 2 would you trade from Jamar? You mean for Jamar? Ramondre, I mean, what 2 would I trade? I'd trade Javonte in a heartbeat. And I'd rather keep, I guess, Ramondre over Najee. And I'm certainly not trading Bijan or Brees Hall. I mean, I'd trade Brees Hall for Jamar straight up. Would I trade Brees Hall and Javonte for Jamar? Yeah, but I'd rather you trade Javonte and like Najee or something like that. That would be much, much nicer. Ramondre and Javonte. But certainly not trading like Brees and Ramondre or something. You probably can't do that, bro. Appreciate you, Mark. What's up there, Ryan? What's going on, Peanut Butter and Waivers? Shisha could see Steelers moving on from Najee and becoming a split backfield. I will say that Najee got a bad rap last year, and he had the Liz Frank injury. But if he doesn't succeed this year, if he has a bad year, let's say he has a really bad 8 games, I could see Tomlin putting Jalen. I could see him putting Warren in there for 40% of the workload, and then destroying his dynasty value, to where you walk into 2024 and you're like, I don't know where he's ranked, and he's like a 5th or 6th rounder, which could be a blessing in disguise if he was to bounce back from that situation. But at that point, I don't know that he would. So Najee's 2024 Dynasty value and really, the remainder of the second half of the 2023 season relies upon his health. He's got to stay healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, Warren's going to get in there and get some run, and then it's going to be like a 40-60 or 60-40 backfield. And Najee needs volume. Like, as much as I love Najee, he needs volume. He's not a guy that's getting you 6 yards per carry at each clip. He needs like a bunch of volume. That's his metrics are kind of bad. And I'm not saying they can't improve, but he needs volume. And if he goes into a 60-40 split, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. So Najee's got to stay healthy. Do I think Najee could be an absolute home run steal in a redraft in the fourth round? Absolutely. In Dynasty, he's not going any higher in Dynasty. Redraft and Dynasty are pretty much the same thing for Najee Harris's ADP and his trade value. So that means you can get Najee Harris for fourth round value in a trade. You could get Najee Harris in the fourth round at a Dynasty startup, and that's pretty good value. It's a pretty good bet to make, I think. How much of Najee's success rides on Pickett's success? A lot for sure. Definitely. Do you think Russ could bounce back this year? He could, but I'm not banking on it. All the quarterbacks I just named, from Burrow, Mahomes, Hurts, Josh Allen, and then number 5 for me. And that was not in any order. That's just my top 4. And then my number 5 quarterback in order. Number 5 would be Fields. Number 6 would be T-Law. Number 7 would be Lamar. Number 8 would be Herbert. Number 9 could be Aaron Rodgers. You're talking about 2, 3, 4, 5 more quarterbacks before I even start talking about maybe considering Russell Wilson. Could he still bounce back regardless of where I slot him in my ranking? Sure. But I'm not going to be banking on Russell Wilson. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not after what he did last year. Not after all the off the field, on the field, off the field, sideline antics. I just don't trust a man that has a huddle with an imaginary group of people. I did that when I was younger. I admit. I played Jordan in mom's bedroom, bro, with the basketball hoop on the bathroom door, where it'd say Shazam when you shoot it, batteries, big AA, double D batteries in there. I'd be dunking all over the place. Then I turned 10. Then I turned 10 and I stopped doing high fives to imaginary players and stopped having imaginary huddles. I can't trust a man that has a ritual where he talks to imaginary people on the field in front of cameras and does imaginary high fives coming out of the tunnel. I can't trust a man that does that. I can't. Just like I can't trust a man that doesn't order a steak. Which of the rookie QBs have the best dynasty value, like AR? It's really just AR and then Bryce Young for me. I don't know that there are any other rookies that I trust. I don't trust Stroud. I don't trust Levis. I kind of like Hooker for the long term, but yeah. From a fan perspective, not fantasy, hope he does. Navage, I'm sorry if I ripped your heart out right there on the Russell Wilson front. I'm sorry, bro. I'll try and be a little lighter hearted on that, but I just can't trust him, bro. I just can't. High five, high five. That'd be like me doing my show going, see all these people back here. All right, we're going live in 5, guys. We're going live in 5. Hey, Billy over there, we're going live in 5. Will you guys trust my fantasy advice if I was in the middle of going live and I pretend to do high fives? I'm having conversations with people here, and I'm like, bro, we're going live in 5 minutes. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. Let's have a good show. Hey, Bob, I do talk to people, don't I? Bob, maybe I'm being a little hard on him. I do have Bob. I do have Unger. I do have, Worried William, Petrified Peter. Maybe I'm being hypocritical here. I do talk to myself all the time, but I don't know. I feel like I wear all those hats. I feel like I am part Petrified Peter, part Bob. They've been with me for a while. Maybe I'm no better than Russell Wilson. Anyway. All right, guys. Anything else? Do a quick little live stream here. Going to go running right now. I'm going to go develop and create content for tomorrow. Hopefully, there's some sort of premiere in the morning. We'll do some sort of live stream probably midday. We'll do the 7 p.m. show. We can do another live stream. Obviously do a live stream at night to draft, but tomorrow could be a very busy day. It might just be a premiere, the 7 p.m. show, and the nighttime graveyard draft show. So it'd be 1 video drop premiere and 2 live streams, the 7 p.m. and the late show. But you also could get some sort of midday show. Smitty, you missed my super from the other show. I'm sorry, Rock Out. What did you say in it? Love the smell of early summer AZ, says the Ryan. Bijan bacon in the morning. Yeah, cook some Bijan bacon. Rock out. What did you say in the super chat? I'll answer it right here. Sorry about that. I'm late, but I'll say T-Law, Herbert, Lamar. Okay. Definitely come back and rewatch some of it, but basically T-Law for me. Herbert definitely in Dynasty is my 2 over Lamar. No, I wouldn't say definitely, but like he is. And then from there we'll have to see. Good late night chat. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you. Love the smell of early morning summer in Arizona. Rockout says you forgot where your Grindhouse shirt. Yeah, I did. Grindhouse, baby. GRNDHAUS.com. We'll hit it on the Dynasty channel too. Rockout, appreciate you, my man. I'm gonna go running right now. I'll see you all later. Thank you very much. Hit that thumb up on the way out the door. Klondike says, do you think the rookie running backs for the Rams and Giants worth a late draft pick in rookie drafts? I guess, bro. Depends how deep it is. Do I like a Deuce Von Moore? Yeah. Appreciate you all. Later, Sick Nasty. See you tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the Dynasty channel. Later, Ryan. Later, Travis. Later, Rockout. Later, Sick Nasty. Later, Klondike. Later, Brian. Mark. Navage. Vampy. I think I've said bye to everybody. I think. All right. Later, pals.